Hiya folks, we're back on the cutting again today, back on the saw work. I'm cutting out making some room basically for there was two things. There's the elementary, which is a track that I want to have sorted out basically, and then making some room for the push-up track as well. Just got a couple of trees to cut on that, so I've forgotten to film anything this morning because I've been sorting out this lot. So sandwich time, and I'll speak to you in a minute. Right, that's better. Sorry about that. I needed something to eat. I was starting to get hungry. So it's Friday, and tomorrow, Saturday, we've got the guys coming in to build the cabin. So it's all kind of going off over there. I'm going to leave them to it and continue working on this. But you know, obviously I'm going to be around if they need me. This is a track called Elementary. This sits squarely in between Magic Bus and Get to the Chopper, and the best way to think of Elementary is a micro version of Beggars Canyon. That's the one to come. So this is a little bit more twisty, and it's got some features in, but we're a progressive bike park, so this is about bringing you into it. So jumps are smaller, features are smaller on this one, and then you've obviously got the Get to the Chopper to start to experience some bigger features. Still not that big, but bigger, and then we move up again in Beggars Canyon. So some of you might remember that I've attempted to start this before, but then I had the original breakdown on the digger, which has since become pretty much once every 48 hours it breaks down, which is great. So anyway, we head round here. You might spot that there's a log gonna go there to kick you up into this one. I'll just give you a bit of a walk down it to have a bit of an idea of where it's at and what it looks like. So parked up the digger for now while I do some tree felling work, but we'll come around the inside, take some inside lines. So coming into the first small double, started the launch for it, and I'll need to decide, well, basically need to make some decisions about where to put the landing, but I'm thinking that landing needs to slope out. Well, to be honest with you, what I'm thinking of doing on this particular one is actually rolling this part over. So when I say double, you're looking more towards a large whoops. If anybody if anybody's old enough to have ridden BMX, you know, at the top of what they used to call camel humps in BMX, so it'd be like take you straight up to what looked like a big table, but at the top there was like two whoops on the top of it. Well, this is, imagine cutting off the smaller part of the large part of the table off it, and just having those two big whoops. So you'll be able to either roll over them, just hanging over the back wheel a little bit, or the idea is you start by rolling over them, if that's where your level is, and then progress yourself on to clearing them. Anyway, head on down. This part of this has been roughed out earlier, just to try and help me out with remembering where things are going to go. So head into the corner. Just over here you can see that the tape for that's Get to the Chopper. Just over there is going to be the push-up track, and then one over from that is where Magic Bus is. Oh, this one's getting a line, so the main line goes around here. What I'm thinking of doing, I'll just back us up a little bit, again for that progressive element for people who, I'm feeling that some people are going to ride this one quite a bit just to peak up that confidence and start to get comfy. I'm going to digress a little bit here, but it's worth it to tell the story. I had two guys that I've known for a long time. They used to work for me back in the day when I was managing the other place, and I got them in to help me out with some testing and getting some feedback on Get to the Chopper as well. As I say, the two guys I've known for a while, so it's good to get some kind of honest feedback. Somebody will tell you, do you know what, that's rubbish. Anyway, the other part about that is Josh and Scott both ride very, very different bikes to me. Scott rides is it a Bronson or a Nomad? I don't know. It's carbon and it's posh, and it's like an angry trail bike. It's really angry actually. It's quite a lot of fun. And then Josh has a steel on one hardtail. Now, as I say, we've known each other for a while, so we'd all like kind of have a ride down it and swap bikes. Digressing again, it's funny that, innit? You kind of only feel comfortable swapping bikes with someone that you really know. I don't know, maybe just me. Anyway, so I managed to get a ride of this on the Santa Cruz and on the hardtail, and I have to say that in all honesty, compared to my bike, you know, 40 in a few weeks. So my bike it's a free ride bike, and it's a bit of it's like riding a sofa. It numbs a lot of the routes, and for me, you know, and this is all going to be very personal to everybody who rides here, but for me it makes get to the chopper quite easy. However, get on Scott's Santa Cruz and the whole thing livens up. The routes kick up a little bit more, and you have to be thinking a little bit more about it. And then get onto Josh's hardtail, and it really kind of it started to become quite gnarly. It was a lot of fun, to be honest with you. It made me really think, geez, I need to sort out getting a hardtail, because you proper have to be awake and alert, and it's so far removed from my bike that it's a whole different thinking. And to be honest, when you get to the bottom, you get a whole new buzz about it again, which was really cool. But that was quite an interesting thing to do, because I'd started to get to the point of feeling where get to the chopper might just be a little bit too easy. We are starting, essentially, car park's over there, and as you start to work this way across and dot it over, and get to the chopper, and then Beggars Canyon, and then Jesus, to be quite honest with you, in the area that we're in like an eighth of the actual 46 acres that we've got, maybe less. So there's a lot of room to go that way, and obviously a lot of room to get harder and more difficult. So I'm losing my train of thought. Bloody hell, sorry guys. So anyway, the idea was I wanted to just give myself a bit of a reality check with that one, because I don't want it to be. I was worried that it was going to be too easy, and it's just not progressing up properly. But yeah, trail bike opens that up to a whole new idea. And hardtail, it's actually quite difficult to ride on a hardtail, to be honest with you. So what I'm hoping for is it can cater for a larger group of people. That's the point I'm trying to make. Anyway, as I was saying about this track, so the idea of this track is over on Get to the Chopper, you've got drops and kickers and the spits that send you kind of straight down and steep through the routes. This one needs to be a little bit more twisty, and as I was mentioning about that top part earlier, slightly more rollable. However, the option to double things up if you want to, if you start getting, oh well, I'm on top of this track now, I'm all over it. So one of the ideas I was thinking as well about this is you've got your main line that goes around that way, and I'm going to stick a little kick around here to kick you up in between the goalposts of those two trees, so that if you want, you can take a jump and a hop over that way. Back around the corner again, getting down towards where my digger originally crapped out. I tell you honestly, yeah, doing this on a budget it can be tricky. And I know I didn't used to know anything about diggers whatsoever, and now I can drop it to bits, as I say, every 48 hours. So it's every day's a school day, I suppose. Anyway, I've got a line across here because I've got another small kick over to do. This is going to bring you in and bend you around a corner. That's just to be knocked out. And if I stand this side, I don't know if you can notice it yet, but there's an open corridor into there, just where I've been felling at the moment. So this way in here is going to set you into another double. We're messy at the moment because I've been dropping some logs this morning. So another double, and we're talking about bringing a landing zone. You should be setting down around this area and setting up for a corner. And as I say, this one's going to be cut by machine, so we'll be banking the corner up a bit here, and it'll bank it around into this way. And as I say, with it being a micro version of Beggars Canyon, we're going to do corner feature. So we'll put something small in here, maybe just a kick, small kick, and then we'll be banking into another corner here. So this will bring us round, and then heading over this way. Now there's already, I'll have to investigate what's underneath here, but that's not such a difficult thing to do with the arm of the digger. We'll find out what's underneath there, but that's going to turn into another feature to ride over, and banking us round into a corner this way, and it's going to head us down into there. Just to start to show you, you can see this is like on get to the chopper through this section here. You can see that the roots are starting to open up now and waken up a little bit. That actually coming, that set of kind of S-bends, I don't know if you can see the tape that brings you up there, but there's quite a speedy section that brings you in. Then you get into these S-bends and where the roots are. And honestly, on a hardtail, man, it's when you get through, you want to high five yourself, and you're like, whoa, managed to make it. Anyway, so you come in through here on Elementary, round and up, down into here. We'll kick or maybe a small log drop, or maybe, anyway, we'll figure those out once we get the digger down it. Removing some of these branches brings us down into here, which is another corner. Now we're heading for this way. Now this is where we start to get in a bit of an interesting point. Obviously over the feature up onto here. Again, don't worry, everything's going to be rollable. No kind of gaps, because you can just roll over them like whoops if you want. Now this is where this point here. So this is the part of the entrance into the two jumps, or the route around on get to the chopper. What I'm also going to do is, because we've just come out of this line here, and you've come round in a corner, and we're about to head down into that line. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put an option to come out of get to the chopper. We'll get you over, because there is a mandatory. Just get down towards it, because I know that we're not exactly looking at zoom focus. There is a mandatory kicker at the bottom of get to the chopper, and obviously we kind of straight line out of it because you need to get some chance to start to apply some brakes, because believe me, when you've come down through there, you're hitting it at speed. So should you decide, I'll just get up here a little bit, and this is something I want to do for the whole of the bike park. But should you decide that you get yourself part of the way down get to the chopper, you can have a little bit of a cheeky look over to your right, to rider's right. You'll be able to see if anyone's coming down Elementary through here. And if you wish, I'm walking on this line just because this is the line that I tend to take. But if you wish, and it's clear to do so, I'm going to be able to make it so that you can peel off through here. Excuse me. Peel off through here and enter into the lower section of Elementary. Now, the idea behind that is, if you don't want to hit this all at speed, and if you've got used to Elementary and you're just trying out get to the chopper, you might not be rattling down through that rooty section as quick as some other people. So you might just be taking it fairly easy back down there, and then there's an option to bring yourself back onto here, which hopefully this will be back into familiarity. I can't even speak, put my teeth in. Familiarity, it's not even a word, is it? Back to something you know. So where we at? I've just brought you through. I'm walking the wrong section. Oh. Sorry, I'll get back up to where I can see. It's going to be a lot easier once I've dug it out with the digger. Oh. Look at this, the sunshine started to come out a bit as well, which makes a real difference, doesn't it? Just so much nicer. So yeah, so anyway, it brought us round out of there through the, imagine these branches are going to be cut off. This is a very early look at it, to be fair. Back in through this way. So the idea is you can see people over on Get to the Chopper, and they can see you, and it is, you know, we're all adults here, we can make way and give way for people. So down and through, taking you down into this way, or coming out and down into this way. And then the idea is to dig down a little bit in here, because I'd like to bank this corner for a real kind of swoop through. And hopefully, if we can get it shaped nicely, it can be a swoop through and a kick up and out, because essentially you're goalposting these two trees. So a kick up and out through into these two. And then I'm going to bring in a bit of technicality as well. Oh, excuse me, through here. We'll go up over onto this side. And then as we get down, we're going to start to get a little bit twisty and a little bit technical. Just to kind of, there's two reasons behind that. Just to slow down the pace for people who do start hitting this at speed. Just to get things slower as we get towards the bottom. But also to give people a taste of the tight, twisty turns and technical, because to be fair, the turns on elementary are pretty open and pretty easy, and we don't want to get too used to that, because in fairness, when you get over into Get to the Chopper, there's some tricky ones that need to be negotiated, so it's a chance to practice that as well. Right, I've realised that I've actually, just looking at the camera now, I've just ranted, well not ranted, but talked for 17 minutes, and I've got to get back and get on to getting some trees felled, so that we can clear out some space, and also at the same time that's providing us nice larch wood for features. Excuse me. So we get some features done. So the idea, as I say, get the felling part of this done today, then get the lads set off with the building of the cabin tomorrow morning, and then I'll begin the digger work on here and start to place in some of the logs and stuff. So hopefully next time when we do a bit of a walk down elementary and I show you what's going on with it, it'll look a bit different and you can start to see the change. So I've got fingers crossed that this weather's going to stay as is. We've got blue skies at the moment and a little bit of sunshine, and we'll crack on. But thanks very much for your time, and thanks for listening to my rambling head, and I'll see you soon.